Hello everybody, welcome. So let's prepare ourselves for our yoga practice by shaking our legs and recrossing them to find ourselves sitting in a cross-legged position if this is your meditative posture. Otherwise you can also sit on your heels in a kneeling position. And if you need to adjust anything by putting a blanket, for example, under your sitting bones so you can elevate your hips a little bit, please take a moment to find that comfortable position for you where you can sit relaxed with a straight spine. And before we close the eyes and before we move in our initial pranayama exercise, I would like us to stretch our necks and release our shoulders, whatever the tension may be hiding there. So let's bring our shoulders up to the ears and drop our shoulders. Do it a couple of times, inhaling, really making your neck disappear, and then dropping your shoulders completely. A few more rounds like this. And then we're gonna do a couple of circles with our head. So bringing the chin towards the chest, bringing the right ear towards the right shoulder, head back, left ear, left shoulder, chin towards the chest. So continue making circles in one direction for a couple of rounds. And try to keep your shoulders relaxed and down, so don't lift your shoulders up to the ears. Keep the upper body relaxed. And then we reverse the movement, so chin towards the chest, left ear, left shoulder, head back. Slowly releasing and loosening the vertebra in our cervical spine, in our neck. And last one, last round. And once again, shake your legs, recross them once again, maybe in a more awkward position, which is less usual for you to hold. So the other uncomfortable side is in front. And then we're gonna settle down by closing the eyes, resting our hands on the knees. And if you want, you can connect the index finger and thumb together in meditative jhana mudra. And we take a couple of breaths, inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the mouth, visualizing that with each exhale through the mouth we let go of the tension, we let go of resistance in the body to relax, and we let go of any mental content, anything that is in your head which you might put to rest for another half an hour, so you can fully tune in with your body, with the sensations in your body in the present moment. And then we close the mouth and just we'll continue breathing through the nose. And today we're going to practice equal breathing pranayama, and we're going to combine it with a mental concentration exercise which will be targeting activation of our energy channels, either in Pingala. So this pranayama exercise is going to be as follows. So we're going to inhale for 4 breaths, and we're going to exhale for inhale for 4 counts and exhale for 4 counts. So this is the equal samavriti pranayama, and the concentration element that we're going to add to this breathing is that we're going to inhale through the left nostril and we're going to exhale through the right nostril. So we are not going to manipulate the closed nostrils, we're going to keep on breathing through both nostrils. It's just a mental attention. So when we inhale, we count 4, inhaling only through the left nostril. So you concentrate on feeling the sense of air passing through the left nostril. And as you exhale, you concentrate on feeling the warm air leaving the body through the right nostril. And we continue breathing like this, counting 4 up and counting 4 down for 5 full rounds. So I will be quiet, I will leave you concentrating on the sensation, on the counting, without any interruption. And now complete the last round, finishing with the exhale, and allow yourself to return to breathing naturally, without any control. And take a moment to set the intention, dedication to this practice. And the intention is something that we formulate for ourselves in the present tense, for health, happiness, relaxation, groundness, or anything else that you want to be more present in your life. To make this intention and repeat it 3 times. We're going to reaffirm it at the end of our practice, to make our mind be focused. And now open your eyes, release your legs and shake your legs. And then recross it once again. So let's start by activating our spine. So placing the hands on the fingertips in front. So we take an extra effort to bring our pelvis a bit forward. So if you need to sit on a blanket, please do so, or on a block. And then we puff up our chest. So bring the sternum up and forward, and we start looking in front of us, and we start moving forward on the fingertips as far forward as it is possible. So stretching the spine, lengthening the front of the body, and at the same time you keep your sitting bones on the ground, so the buttocks do not leave the floor. And once we reach our maximum to the front, we inhale, lift the chest a bit higher, and exhaling, we're gonna release, keeping the arms active, but releasing the head towards the ground. So your forehead may be touching the floor, maybe it's not touching the floor, it doesn't really matter. The arms are still active, the sitting bones pressing towards the ground. Maybe you can still move your fingertips a bit more forward, so you are lengthening the entire front of the body. One more breath. And on a big inhale, we just lift the chest and the head up. Again, rising on the fingertips, and we're gonna move on the fingertips all the way to the left side. So keeping the right sitting bone on the ground without lifting the right buttock. We're gonna reach the maximum towards the left, and then we inhale, lift the chest up. And then we exhale and lower ourselves over the left knee. Once again, arms are active. The right sitting bone is heavy. You feel the stretch alongside the right side of the rib cage. Sending deep breaths into the area where you feel the stretch or tension. One more breath here. And then we rise on the fingertips once again, looking up, and then we're gonna work on the fingertips all the way to the opposite side, over the right leg. And then before we go down, we first extend the chest, extend the spine, and then we go down from this long spine. So try to keep both sitting bones on the ground, so the left sitting bone is not leaving the floor, still fully grounded. And relax your neck, so you can shake your head, so you can really let it hang there. And on the big inhale, we're gonna lift on the fingertips, and we're gonna move towards the center on the fingertips. For the last time, we're gonna inhale massively, stretching out completely, and then going down. So maybe this time your forehead reaches the ground, or you feel a bit more space, and your chest is closer to the ground. One more breath here. And then inhaling on the fingertips, looking up and pressing the floor away. We're gonna bring ourselves back to sitting, so shake your legs. And we're gonna go into the shoelace variation in a moment, and I will give you the options. So the first option is that we start with the straight legs, then we bring the right knee towards the chest, and then we bring the right foot over and place the right knee on top of the left knee. So this is a half shoelace pose, and it's important to keep your pelvis squared forward, and in a moment we're gonna recline over this right knee. If you feel that you have a bit more space and you want to try the full variation of the pose, you also bend the left knee. So both of your knees are on top of each other, and you can adjust the position by momentarily moving onto your knees, so you are sitting in between the feet. So just remember which leg is on top, which knee is on top. Whatever variation you do, we do both sides. And if you are in a half shoelace pose, you just slowly go and recline. If you are sitting in a full shoelace pose, like I'm doing, you can stay here for a few breaths, keeping the chest open, relaxing the shoulders. And as always, in whatever variation of the pose you are, make sure that you don't have a shooting pain in your knees. And if you need to adjust something, for example, sitting on a block, sitting on a blanket, on a cushion, please do so. There should be no pain in your joints. And in a moment, we're gonna also recline if you are in a full shoelace pose, and we're gonna recline with a straight spine. So we're gonna first move from the fingertips forward as much as possible, again keeping both sitting bones on the ground, and then resting the forehead on the right knee, or maybe over the right knee. Keep on breathing, don't hold your breath. It's important to allow your breath to be slow and deliberate. And we use the breath as an instrument for concentration, but also as an instrument to bring some ease into the areas of our body where we feel constrained, or we feel restriction. So sending the breath into those problematic areas, helping find ease. And last breath here. And then we're gonna inhale and lift on the fingertips, and we're gonna release the pose, and we're gonna put the feet hip width apart, and we do windshield wipers, releasing the hips. Don't do a couple of times, faster, slower. The purpose is to release the hips, so we are ready for the other side. So if you were doing half shoelace, continue with the half shoelace on that other side. So this time right leg forward, left knee over on top of the right knee, and then you're gonna recline forward. And if you were doing the full shoelace pose, just bending the right bottom knee under and repositioning yourself so your knees are as much on top of each other as possible. And then we're gonna just sit for a few breaths straight with the spine up. So working on releasing the hips towards the ground, finding the middle way between slight discomfort and comfort. And then we're gonna move into reclined position also if you are in the full shoelace pose. So do it again slowly, making sure that your hips are still on the ground. And then you can really extend your chest forward and lengthen your spine before you go down. Resting your chin on the left knee. Feeling the breath coming in and coming out through the nose only. One more breath. And then we're gonna inhale, we're gonna lift on the fingertips, and we're gonna move to sitting up. And then we lean back and release our legs. So you might want to shake your legs and do the windshield wipers again. So in the next couple of asanas, we will work on our feet, on our toes. So it's ankle and toe stretch, and we will add some shoulder stretch as a point to distract our attention from maybe discomfortable sensation in our toes. So we're gonna stand on our knees, and then we're gonna tuck our toes under. So look at your toes and see if you can really curl your toes under, so you can rest and lean towards the wider part of your feet. So maybe it helps a couple of rounds, maybe your toes are stiff, so just pressing up and back a few times. And ideally we can sit on our ankles, the heels up, the toes curled under. And the distraction point is a stretch for our shoulders. We're gonna bring the arms towards the side, thumbs facing down, and then we wrap around and grab our elbows. So this is the first variation. So we puff up and open the chest, opening the chest as much as it goes. And if you have space, you can also move to place your hands in Namaste Mudra behind the back. So I will turn towards you to show, and if you can wiggle your palms as high up and then roll the shoulders up and back, so you open your chest completely. And as you're sitting on the heels, notice that you can lift a little bit of the heels to reduce the pressure. And if you feel comfortable and your toes tolerate it, you can bring a bit more weight towards the heels, towards the buttocks. Few breaths here. keeping the chest open, keeping the rolling movement in your shoulders. One more breath. And then first we release the arms and then move the hands forward, and we're gonna tap the back of our feet on the ground, so releasing the toes. And then we sit on our heels, and now we move to our ankle stretch. So we have alignment between the front, between the torso and the legs at a 90 degree. We place the fingertips on the ground, and all we do, we engage the stomach muscles, and then we lift at the knees of the ground without changing this 90 degree angle. So we are not going down backwards, we are not doing anything that changes the alignment. We just lift our knees, and maybe just 1-2 centimeters, or maybe you can lift your knees up and you start feeling the stretch in your ankle. So be very sensitive. It is a very sensitive area, and you can support yourself on the fingertips, so you can regulate the stretch. So you're going to be very careful not staying too long here, and we do it 3 times instead of staying for longer. Just release, tap the toes, flex your feet, point your feet, and then we go for 2 more times. You don't need to wait for me if you feel that you need to release early. Just do and tap the back of your feet to massage the feet. And last time. So getting stiff ankles and flexible toes, it's very common. Really liberates and creates space in this area, allowing us to have a better balance when we work. And then releasing. And we will finish up with a little low lunge variation. So we find ourselves on hands and knees, and then we bring the right foot forward in between the legs. And then we tuck the back toes under, and we slide the back foot as far back as possible. And then we rest our hands on top of the right knee, and we do a couple of pulsing movements. So really go up and back, bouncing up and back a few times. May feel even pleasant to do that. So with each bouncing movement, releasing a bit more the hips towards the ground. And then we stop, so your right knee is above the right ankle, and then we bring the hands behind. We will interlace the fingers behind, and then we open the chest, connecting the shoulder blades, opening the chest and bringing the hands a bit away from the sacrum, from the buttocks. And we can stay here if you have a balance and it's enough. Or if you have a bit more space, maybe you will start lifting the chest a bit higher and then start bringing the head back. So do it very slowly without losing in the balance. So bending backward. And you can send a couple of kisses towards the sky, activating your face muscles. Releasing the jaw. And then if you were bending backwards, first bringing the face towards the front, and then releasing the arms, and then we're gonna place the hands next to the right foot and very gently straighten the right leg. Maybe it doesn't straighten completely. Be mindful of your hamstrings, and if you straightened to your maximum, then we're gonna inhale, lifting the chest up, and then we go down and bend over the right leg. So keep the hips and the pelvis squared forward. Release your neck. It's Ardha Hanumanasana. half Hanumanasana we are practicing. One more breath here. And then inhaling, we're gonna rebend the right knee and we change sides. So we're gonna first find all fours, hands and knees, and then left foot in between the hands, tucking the back toes under and moving the back knee as far back as possible, bouncing a couple of times to find space, the left hip in the groin area. And then finding a static position, so settling with a 90-degree angle between your left thigh and left leg. And then we bring the arms, and this time you can also grab your elbows instead of interlacing the fingers, or placing the hands in Namaste behind the back if it worked for you. And if you place the hands in Namaste, try to bring the palms as high as between the shoulder blades as possible, and then rolling the shoulders open, the chest open. And you do the same in this variation, so you can stay here, just holding the balance and allowing your hips to sink a little bit more towards the ground, surrendering to the force of gravity, or inhaling, lifting the chest up and then back, bending backward without losing the balance. So remember, you're not just bending backward, you are lifting up and then backward. Few kisses to the sky here as well. And then we release by bringing the head in a neutral position, releasing the arms, placing the hands next to the left foot, and start straightening the left leg. And once you are happy, inhaling, lifting the chest up, squaring the hips, and then going down. Releasing your head, shake it to make sure that there is no tension in your neck. You can flutter your lips, releasing any tension in your mouth. And then next inhale, we're gonna rebend our left knee, and we're gonna move on our backs. We are ready to finish with the final relaxation. So before we go into Shavasana, bring your knees towards the chest. Give yourself a couple of rounds of rolling on your back, maybe side to side, in circular fashion. And then one leg at a time, we release our legs. So feet are not touching, feet are hip distance away. We bring our arms, palms facing up, moving the shoulder blades closer to each other, and we take a few breaths, inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the mouth, in a sign of letting go. So Shavasana is the pose where we really teach our body and our mind to absorb all the benefits of the practice. It's at this moment that your body and your mind settles into this area of new flexibility, space, calm. Allow yourself fully melt into this relaxation. Now we are ready to emerge from that final relaxation and be back to the world, and we start moving our fingers and toes. We'll bring our legs together, arms over the head, stretching ourselves, flexing the toes and pointing the toes. And then bending your knees and finding your way. Lie down on your right side with the knees towards the chest for a few breaths, eyes closed. And coming back to sitting at your own tempo without any rush. So settling with a straight spine, relaxed shoulders. Few rounds of breath, feeling the sitting bones and imagining the line of energy running through your spine from the sitting bones up to the crown of your head and above, pulling you energetically up. And your intention for the practice may emerge in your own words. Please repeat it to yourself 3 times. And remember that your mind will be focused on those things that are really important in your life. And then bring the hands in front of the chest, you open the eyes, we bend over the hands in gratitude for finding time to practice. Be well. Namaste.